Okay, just resuming the recording. Once again, I've limited myself to 15-minute sessions, so you'll just have to go back to previous videos if you're not sure how we ended up at this point. But right now, just to recap, created an event inside of a scriptable object so that I can have a middle script. I don't want to have too many dependencies. I don't want scripts depending on each other. So the paradigm I'm using is event-driven programming. So the player has a speed monitor, and that just keeps track of, hey, how many knots are we going, converting from meters per second to knots. And what I want to happen is when the player exceeds 3 knots, there'll be other triggers for different parts of the game, but while you're near the pairs, I want the speed limit to be 3 knots. And if the player exceeds 3 knots, then there's a penalty or there's some kind of event that takes place that, it's kind of warning you that you're exceeding the speed. So leading up to this video, there are 2 scripts now, the speed monitor, and then there's a speed limit manager, that when the player exceeds 3 knots, then something will be fired off, and then we want to make sure that that other event or the listener is displaying its message. Okay, so I paused the game. When the video stopped recording last time, we'll resume it. And right now, we've already exceeded 3 knots. So I think I'll have to run that test again because it happened during the break as far as when I was preparing this video. So let's start over. Clear the console, and what we're looking out for the speed to go past 3 knots, and then we should see this text from our speed limit manager that says speed limit exceeded. Okay, so here we go, get underway.
Starboard engine stop. Port engine stop. Port engine ahead 1/3, rudder amidships. Starboard engine ahead 2/3, port engine ahead 2/3.
We're getting up to 2 knots. I'll pause it, and then I'll play. And remember, when we get to 3 knots, I want to see that event fire off. All right, so we just exceeded 3.1, and let's make sure that that event fired. Remember, these fixed updates are happening very quickly. So what I should do to make life easier is just turn off the speed monitor text. That's a little distracting. So speed monitor is displaying the speed every fixed update. We don't want that. We just want the speed monitor to raise the event, after which the speed limit manager displays this message for us. And later on, this message can be replaced with behavior like, change the color of the background to red, or introduce a vignette that kind of shrinks the viewing area to kind of force you to do something because you're not able to see the entire game view. All right, so try this test again.
Starboard engine stop. Port engine stop. Rudder amidships. Port engine ahead 1/3. Port engine ahead 2/3. Starboard engine ahead 2/3.
All right, here we go. We're at 2 knots, and we get to 3 knots, and there is no display. All right, so this is where the troubleshooting comes in. So what should be happening is my speed monitor, which is here, I have my scriptable object, and my speed display container. Speed limit manager also has a scriptable object, and I've subscribed to the on fast speed. I'm going to make sure that's what it's called, on fast speed invoke. Okay. And one thing I should have done is whenever you subscribe, you should also unsubscribe. Whenever it's disabled, you want to make sure that you're unsubscribing just for memory leaks. It's good practice. All right, Just making sure I didn't make any mistakes. And I'm using prefabs, so I got to make sure that my prefabs are all updated. Player. All right, run that test again.
Starboard engine stop. Port engine stop. Rudder amidships. Port engine ahead 1/3. Starboard engine ahead 1/3. Starboard engine ahead 2/3. Port engine ahead 2/3.
Okay, so there's an issue with our speed monitor. So let's take a look at that. If ship speed in knots is greater than the speed limit, and that's happening every fixed update. All right, so we need another thing to, because this is going to happen. This event's firing off so many times, and I normally wouldn't place it here, but we need something else to kind of limit the amount of times it's firing off. Because the speed limit is 3. Oh, okay, so I did change that to 3. Let's see what's happening in the editor. It's exposed. So player, look at that. Okay, so that's something I should have caught, but if you notice it says speed limit 5. That's because the first variable that I used was 5 knots. And then I later changed it within the script to 3. So I should have come here. If I hit reset, that would reset it, but then it'll also get rid of all these other properties that I have wired up. So let's just, in the editor, change this to 3. And let's see how that fires off. So now the speed limit is truly 3 knots that it will be looking out for. And let's fire it up.
Starboard engine stop. Port engine stop. Rudder amidships. Port engine ahead 2/3. Starboard engine ahead 2/3.
All right, so now we're approaching 2 knots. Keep an eye on the console, and there we go. Okay, so now the event fired off correctly. It printed it 93 times because I don't have anything to tell it, okay, only fire once. But you can see the 2 scripts are indeed speaking to each other through the scriptable object middleman. The middleman knows about the events, and the primary object is telling that scriptable object to raise the event, after which the listening object responds after the event gets raised. So I'm going to stop here only because I'm limited on time today, but I just wanted to give a quick demonstration of the workflow, and my plan now is to continue on this path and to make the speed limit manager a little bit more visually appealing or suggestive as far as, hey, something is wrong. So if you enjoy this, I'll keep doing it. If not, it's been fun. You know, I'm pretty new at doing the recording and trying to program and do the editor, so bear with me. Maybe I'll switch over to YouTube live feature rather, because right now I'm recording the videos and then posting them to YouTube. But YouTube has a streaming functionality that I may just start doing as I work through the rest of this game. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for your time.